All right, grasshoppers, it is that magical time, a Monday morning, where the entire world, the entire universe watches the show,
Yeah.
so they can get to see
Multi.
They went a little disappointed today. It's getting cold, so now it's his got his clothes on. Usually he's got his shirt off. Brother, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Good. Mark's company is patriottrainingsystems.com. If you need any kind of training, you can do it virtually. Kids, Navy SEALs, you train everybody. How's your weekend? You're a Jets fan.
It was good. Well, yeah. And we have obvious problems with our football teams.
Yeah,
not good.
But you know what, though? I do think, like the Giants, for example, I think they're better. The problem is they're better than maybe what everybody thought they were going to be.
Right.
So now the expectations are high. And the Jets, the Jets defense is pretty good. I like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and they got some. Williams got hurt yesterday. They have so many injuries. The offensive line, I think they're down to like fifth string guys,
right.
And the kid just got annihilated. Like he was in 6 or 7 car crashes yesterday.
Yeah. Here's the great one, the one and only Barry Shelley. Love to watch two beasts like yourself start off the week. There's our brother there.
Hey, Barry. Really looking forward to that trip, man. I'll tell you what.
So, okay, when is the trip going up there?
So the New Jersey Warriors are going to be a guest of Barry Shelley's Rink of Dreams, February 17 through February 19. We're going to go up. We're chartering a bus. We're taking the bus up Cooperstown. So Friday night, we have a dinner, I think, at the VFW that Barry put together, and a lot of restaurants are donating food, which is going to be tremendous. Right. Saturday morning, we're going to get a tour of the Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Cool.
And
nice.
then, we're going to go to the Rink of Dreams. We're going to see the Rink of Dreams, which is going to be phenomenal. Then we play an outdoor game in the afternoon, just a fun game. Wow. And then in the evening, Saturday night, the Devils have their farm club up there. The American League team is in Utica. And we're all going to the game, and the Utica Comets are going to honor the New Jersey Warrior hockey program on ice, which is going to be tremendous.
That's cool.
Good. And then Sunday on the way home, we're going to stop at a veteran-owned brewery for lunch, and then finish up the trip. So it's going to be an amazing weekend, all because of Barry Shelley, who is also he's a veteran, and we honor his service as well. But Barry's done. It's just insane. What a great job!
He's fantastic.
It's awesome. Awesome.
I think it's worthwhile telling it again. So Barry and I met. He sent me. He contacted me on Facebook, I believe, wanted me to sign something for him, which is fine. A lot of people do it. He was so nice, meant so much to him that he sent me the patch off his military uniform. He was a military police, I believe, is what it was.
Yes.
The patch, and I've got that right here on my desk. So just a great guy. And since then, he's just, as you know, become really good friends. So he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. Amazing story.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. He is a giver. He does a lot of stuff. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So Saturday, Bill Brown, our friend Bill, who was a retired SEAL, he is the president of the Rutgers, because he graduated law school at Rutgers, Rutgers Law, and he is the president of their veteran alumni, Rutgers veteran alumni, and they had an Army Navy watch game on the deck of the USS New Jersey battleship, which had served in World War II, Korea, and finished in Vietnam. So a couple of my buddies went down, and of course the usual crew, heads, and we supported Bill, and we had a great day. To support.
There was no bikini contest. He was just pulling your leg, or what?
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened. I guess it kind of fell through, but I underneath my
I
did. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had the pink polka dot bikini on underneath.
That would be a sight. That'd be a sight.
And I was gonna, I didn't want to disappoint Bill by undressing and exposing the sheer horror that would ensue.
Oh, that's fun. So, did you actually believe that there was going to be a bikini contest?
You know what? I've been just so busy, and he's always running around. I never really got a chance to speak to Bill about is it just like a draw to get us knuckleheads there, or was he really planning on it? Just for whatever reason didn't come off. But it was a great event. There was a Gold Star dad and mom there, which is kind of moving, obviously. There was also a young lady there who lost, unfortunately, her dad. Her dad worked for Cantor Fitzgerald, and she lost him on 9/11. So it was a very moving day. We, Bill always has a way of honoring everybody. And so for this young lady, we all got down to 25 push-ups to recognize her dad.
That's cool.
So it was cool. Yeah, it was a great event. A lot of fun.
That's cool. Very good. All right, now I need to vent a little bit. So I don't know what it is lately. Do you think it's my fault? Like, there's a dog situation surrounding my.
Are you walking Oh, hamburgers in your pockets or something.
I must be. I don't know what it is. So okay, so here in Greenwich, Connecticut, I have this beautiful park called Todd's Point. Beautiful beach, but it's a park. I guess some family had owned it many years ago. The property, when I guess the last person died in the family, they willed it to the town of Greenwich. So during the summertime, it's a closed beach just for residents only. Although you can buy a pass, they make it kind of difficult, but it's basically just town residents. So starting December 1st, there's no dogs during the rest of the year, but starting December 1st, not only can you have a dog in the park, it has to be leashed going around the rest of the park, but on the beach, it clearly says the high water mark on the beach. It has to be, dog has to be below that. It can run wild. They don't have to be on a leash.
Not good.
Yeah. So, so I'm there. This happened twice now. Like this morning. So I have my tripod. So I do my videos on the beach and everything. So obviously when I'm not using the tripod portion of it, you fold it together and it looks kind of like a stick. Mm-hmm. So I'm walking the beach today. It's dark, and all of a sudden, this dog, decent sized dog, is right on top of me, barking like I must have scared it too. So he's panicking, and I just lose my mind. I'm like, and I felt terrible because it was a woman. I thought it was, right. I didn't know who it was. So I'm like, get the dog off the effing beach, like have some respect. And I'm like, what?
So
what? Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna get Royce Ramos, my guru, right, to teach you how to use the tripod as a defensive weapon.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I do this in the dog.
Yeah. And just take that tripod rather and defend yourself. I try to get out every morning, and this morning as well. And I walk with my staff, which is actually a martial art weapon. Right. But it's also a great walking stick. And it's a good thing because, again, there's bear back here. There's tons of them. So I can kind of hope to even up the odds a little bit. But yeah, this morning there was a woman and a guy there walking. One was like a hunting dog, and the other one was a golden retriever. They had the retriever on a leash, but the hunting dog was loose. You don't know a dog, but then I did see he had an e-collar on, which is great.
Oh. So, and that is the thing. I love dogs, and I know you love dogs too. Yeah. That's the sad part of it. It's just like I just like have some respect. To me, it's just an idiotic law, a rule to have to love.
Yeah. Well, in all cases, it's never the dog's fault. It's the dog owner's fault.
Totally. Yeah. That's exactly right. There's other people that have their dog there totally under control, either on a leash or just they maintain it. Guy the other day is the same thing. He wasn't paying attention at all. The dog's pooping on the beach. He's supposed to clean it up. He wasn't paying attention at all. He was on his cell phone. And again, the dog comes running up to me, and I had to give it the old smack on top of the head with the and I hate doing that. I feel awful, but I'm the same way. They're coming up to you. You don't know what the dog's going to do. So
can bite you. Yeah.
So there's going to be, I don't know how long this goes for when the dogs are allowed on the beach, but there's going to be some major confrontations.
Yeah, there's going to be an incident for sure.
Yeah. And it's like, when you go to the beach there in the morning, I think it's scientifically proven that the water and the sunrise and everything is really good for you.
I actually shot a beautiful, the first lake. There's two lakes where I go, and it was just incredible. And then yesterday, some of the smaller ponds. Oh, by the way, did you ever do this? I'm sure you did. Well, you grew up on a farm, but so I got a brand new backpack. You can put all kinds of stuff in there. You don't even feel it. It's Ted Curtin helped me out because he's a big hiker.
Right.
But I'm gonna grab Ted. I'm gonna throw my skates in because there's some frozen ponds back there.
Oh, nice.
So throw your skates in your bag, and you get there, slap them on, and you can whiz through trees like Harry Potter. Probably take a digger, kill myself. Provide squirrel food for a couple months. Yeah.
Love to cook. Oh, pork tenderloin yesterday. Oh, didn't know. Yeah. Do we consider that red meat? Pork considered red meat?
No, pork is white meat actually.
Right. Yeah. So in the past, I've never really been successful at cooking pork tenderloin properly. It's always too dry. So I cooked it last week. I actually went to the Costco with that double-sized thing. So I said, okay, I'm going to do a trial run here. So I did it in the slow cooker. It was awful. It was like leather.
Really?
So I learned. I did a little bit more research. So I marinated it in avocado oil and balsamic vinegar. Seasoned it up nice and good. Some paprika on it, some celery salt, some mixed. It was like a mixed Italian seasoning, and seared it nice and good. And then put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. Oh, juicy! What
good stuff, right? Yeah. Oh. If it's done right, it's great.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I made a duck breast last.
Did you really? Wow.
It's really easy, Tom, because you got to be careful. It cooks way faster than you would think.
Right.
And I researched it. It's not like chicken. You don't have to be concerned about I mean, you want to get it to medium rare, but you don't have to be over concerned like you would with chicken that has to be cooked through. And so I made that. It's actually smoked. I buy it with smoked. Maybe that's why it cooks a little quicker. But I made that with some asparagus. I kind of flash fried over rice with some soy sauce and whatnot. It was really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Ooh,
Fast and easy. Yeah.
Good. My mother used to. So asparagus is the stick, like the long stem.
Yeah,
right?
so it gives you a smelly pee because it's got a lot of sulfur in it.
So I
don't
love
pee
my
in the
mother.
shower after. Yeah,
No, I know.
don't pee in a hot shower after asparagus.
So I love my mother to death, so I don't want to badmouth her in any way. But she used to make asparagus. She would just boil it, and it would be like this. The texture was awful, and so I've cut this. Yeah, so I've learned now. I do it in the air fryer, so I get that nice crispy little.
Yeah, it's great. That's why I pan fry it real quick in some olive oil, a little hot pepper in there, and some garlic salt. Oh man, it's good. Yeah.
So what one food would you not eat? Like even if you were starving, like you just couldn't eat it. You don't like it.
I'm not big on any organ meats like liver and like
That's true. Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, I probably stay away from that. But in general, just about anything. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not big. I'll be honest with you. I'm not big on pork only because it's kind of, to me, you got to really jazz it up. You know?
That's true. Like, that pork yesterday was good, but I seasoned the what out of it. So it was, yeah.
Yeah, I went to a Puerto Rican restaurant with a fighter I used to train once, and they fried pork chops, which was pretty good, actually.
Yeah. I did I had corn on the cob with mine too, and I did in the air fryer. You're right, Barry. It came out really easy to make. Obviously, you just throw it in there and season it up or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
So I haven't been watching. I see the Rangers
playing better now.
Yeah, it's a matter of time. I mean, there's a team there. It's just a matter of they got to find themselves.
Shesterkin's got better, right? I mean, he's got that. To me, that's the key with it. That he's all world, and if he's not all world, that team is built to have an outstanding goaltender, and then just run and gun and go. Make mistakes, he bails them out, and that's
go out and move the kids up front, I guess.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play him. I know. I think he did it in. I want to say Vegas. I'm not sure, but yeah, you got to play him. Yeah.
So I get my Ron. How you doing there, brother? Hope you're doing well. So I get my frozen salmon from Costco. Put it right in the See, to me, the cast iron skillet's the best way.
Yeah.
And then I just spray a little bit of avocado oil on it. I use that Selly salt, which is garlic, pepper, salt. I have two grinders that have got chia seeds and quinoa in it. So I grind up some chia seeds and quinoa, put it on top there. Oh,
dill is really good with salmon. Yeah, real good with salmon.
And the key for me with the salmon, you cannot overcook it. You get it right to that. See, to me, I think you get it like that at 130. Let it rest for a minute. Cook up a little bit more. 130, 135. Oh, like butter.
Yeah, years ago, I went up to Oswego, New York. We went out on a boat, and we got I want to say Chinook salmon, but we all were lucky. We all caught something. Right. And my brother-in-law and this other dude I was with, they had a real fight. Like their fish was coming out of the water and jumping. It was like a real struggle. Mine swam so fast straight to the boat, like it was no struggle. It just about jumped in my arms. Because you want to be like, oh man, at the sea. You want to, a good 3-hour fight, but nothing. Yeah, but delicious though, man, incredible.
Here's the guy. Okay, we call him Bill, not real name.
Yeah.
Bill, not real name. Missing the show today. Had to go to work for today.
He's a man. He's a man.
Really something. Really something. Is Danny Erickson chiming in too? He's goes to McDonald's for his meals.
I'd be a little leery of that. I'm hearing. I mean, we all know McDonald's is probably not the best thing for you, but I think if you research where they get the hamburger from, you'll never eat it again. Oh,
really? Oh.
Yeah, it's like stomach parts, stuff on, just like stuff you don't eat. It's like, and there's plastic in it. There's tons of sugar in McDonald's burgers. Yeah.
Really? Is that right?
Yeah. Huh. I wouldn't even give it to the mutt.
I know we've talked about this before, but they don't allow cigarette commercials on TV anymore because they realize how bad cigarettes are for you. But this food does the same thing, but they're allowing all these commercials on there.
And I read an interesting stat. What was it? There's two stats I read. One is 80% of the food that we have in the grocery store now, 80% didn't exist 100 years ago. It's all processed foods. It's all processed. So that only leaves 20% of food. And even that, you got to whittle it down, right? And then the other, yeah, it's crazy. And
all the salts, like you get a can of soup and you look at the can of soup, it's got so
the
much
sodium.
sodium in it. God.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You know what's funny? I never paid attention to that stuff before. Now, when you start paying attention to it, you can really, like as you use this phrase too, use food as your medicine instead of getting medicine from the doctors and because you getting yourself sick. Just eat good foods, and there's so many, like you can do so many things too. Like, is it maybe a little bit more time, like to make your own soup and all that kind of stuff? But it's really not a big deal. Huh?
Enjoy it a little more, I think.
Totally, yeah. You can season it up the way you want to season it up. Yeah.
But there's a quote: have food become your medicine before your medicine becomes your food.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. It's so much, like you said, most people have like access to a computer and just look things up, like recipes, how to make soups, how to make all these. Oh, man.
Well, the other thing too, I read the pharmaceuticals made $1.7 trillion last year in profit. Not one penny was spent ever on education in terms of nutrition, healthy lifestyle, getting sun. Getting sun is one of the healthier things you can do in life. It's vitamin D. And
it's just awful to say this, but I talked to somebody the other day. We had this conversation about skin cancer, and like, I guess actually, I know what it was. It was a gentleman that's helped me produce another podcast, and he'd done the research on it. And ever since we started using sunscreen, the levels of cancer have gone up
100%.
What is that? We think that's because people now are out in the sun more because they're using sunscreen.
Well, yeah, it could be. It also could be something in the sunscreen is creating an issue, but if you look at areas of this country like Seattle, Portland, look at the depression, look at the suicide rates they have because they don't have any. They don't look at, there's no sun, and it's like we were talking about earlier, being by a body of water, being in the sun, mentally and physically, it's so important.
Yeah, and I think early in the day, getting out the sun and the water early in the day,
morning sun. Yeah, and I understand people have jobs and they have time restraints, but even if you can get out there for 5 or 10 minutes or whatever, Yeah.
Tracy Marie is chiming in here. Sunscreen has chemicals too. Yeah. Same thing.
Absolutely.
Is deodorant, right? The deodorant, I guess, supposedly has all that aluminum in it and very unhealthy for you.
Yeah.
The spray is the way to go.
Well, the spray is the issue. I don't know. But
yeah, it's amazing when you research more and find out stuff, right? That you just assume, well, everybody else is doing it, so I'll do it. And then,
well, I ever look at a shampoo bottle and read the ingredients?
Not lately.
It's my hobby. No, but it'll scare you because you're going to see chemicals on there you can't pronounce, and you're putting it on your head, and it's getting into your blood system because you're using it every day. Transdermally, it's getting in. So. Yeah. There's some really good, I'm not endorsing, but Tom's is a good product for mouthwash, for toothpaste, for shampoos. You're going to spend more, but I would rather spend a little bit more up front than having to spend thousands of dollars on medicines.
Yeah. Here's our boy, Dougie DeVito, the man, the myth, the legend. Doing intermittent fasting for a year and a half. I'm at my latest weight since I was 22 years old. I'm 60 now. Wow. Good job.
Yep. Absolutely, Doug. Great work, man. And there's no question that IF is really the easiest way to change your course of dietary habits and the most functional way, and absolutely you get the best results from many, totally. As Tom has mentioned numerous times, with autophagy, body recomposition, and also guess what? It frees up your time. I mean, how much time do people spend in the morning making breakfast? Preparing this, that, and if you just don't eat till 1 o'clock or noon or something like that.
Yeah, I swear by it. Like, and it's just the autophagy isn't just in your body, right? It's your brain as well as regenerating the cells in your brain. You feel sharper.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that do OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. It's an acronym for that, OMAD, and that's another way to go.
Right.
I've done it in the past. It can be done. And
so let me ask you.
Had a day.
So if I stop eating at 8, I don't eat again until noon the next day. That's my 16-hour window. So the theory is, just generally speaking, that after 12 hours, your body's burned up all the sugars and everything. So now the autophagy starts after 12 hours,
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
If at any time during that time you have like 50 calories or whatever, does that stop the autophagy from working?
I theoretically, yes. Does it? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Again, what I've done in the past is, I get into the 16.8, and then I'll start to stretch it out to 18.6, and then I'll get to 24. 20 hours fasting, 4 hours of eating. Think about it, 4 hours. You could eat a lot of food in 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
So
It's actually kind of fun to
yeah,
grab
yeah.
those calories in there. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. So for me, I use that FitPal, and
Mhm.
you set it up. It's kind of a pain when you first set it up, but then once you use it for a while, it's good. It's the app, and so it tells me that I can, without working out, I'm pretty active, so I can also add calories to it. But it tells me that I can burn about 3,500 calories a day. But when I work out in the morning, again, it's a guesstimate, but it tells me that I burnt about another 1,000 calories. So that's like 4,500 calories during the day. So when you're fasting,
That's a lot of food.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, right? During the 4 hours or 8 hours, like you're cramming some serious food into.
Or just go.
I've heard people say that you can eat whatever you want, but that kind of defeats the purpose, right? You want to have healthy food.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And even if, let's say you're 3,500 and then you're burning 1,000, so you're at 4,500. But if you only eat 3,500, now you're at 1,000 calories, what we call caloric deficit, which is gonna again start to create some recomposition with body fat levels. It's
and
really
working out
rocket
working
science.
out during the fast even helps the autophagy as well, right? Makes it even better.
So yeah, there's, and again, it's lifestyle. It becomes habit, but a lot of people say, "Hey, Mark, I just don't have the time. I can't dedicate an hour a day or half." Well, there's so much research that shows even if you do a minute to 2 minutes, even a minute of vigorous activity numerous times throughout the day, you're going to get tremendous benefits from that. Psychologically, physically, it's just if you make it part of your day, make it part of your lifestyle that you don't even think about it, then you're going to be fine.
Yeah, totally.
And like you said, the harder you train, the better you want to eat.
Yeah. It's just mentally too, right? Getting into the gym and working out, geez, you feel so good about yourself. I know someone who wants to get off meds. I wonder how smart this is, since he had a stroke a few years ago. The stroke didn't affect him, but I wonder if he can have some meds. A great decision. Well, obviously, we're not doctors, so anything we say right now, we want to be really careful with. But I think if it's with a plan, like really understanding what the foods are, if you can wean yourself off the meds, and I just think there's so much stuff you can do for yourself. But
I think I can't speak to that because it's an individual issue, and hopefully he can get off the meds at some point. But here's the problem I have with our healthcare, whatever you want to call it, system or healthcare in this country, is that you'll get a 35-year-old male who's like 20 pounds overweight, has a stressful job, smokes cigarettes, drinks more often than he should, and he sits before a doctor, and he's going to have elevated blood pressure, he's going to have elevated cholesterol, and the doctor himself has got elevated cholesterol, high blood pressure. He's fat himself, and he's sitting back there, and the first thing he's going to do is grab the pad and write a script. Instead of saying, and it's funny because I think I mentioned to you this, my son Sean years ago broke his something. I think he broke his arm, and when he went for a follow-up, the doctor wrote a prescription. You know what his prescription was? Shadow boxing, 10 rounds, 3. Yeah, that was his prescription. Meaning, you got the green light, Sean. You can shadow box now. You can't do any contact yet, but that was his prescription. And I think if we started to look at that in those, instead of the doctor writing a script for a statin and some other calcium channel blocker or whatever it might be, just say, "Hey, listen, guy, quit. You got to eradicate the smoking. You got to lose weight. You got to get outside. You got to move around. You have to find ways to reduce stress, because stress is an absolute killer. Probably the number one killer in life is stress."
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine from Texas, and I got to give him a call because this was a couple of years ago. He was telling me they had a project getting started where they're going to work with health insurance companies. And instead of sending all the medication, they're going to send healthy food and how to exercise to them. So I thought to myself, it's a great idea. It's fantastic. But the pharmaceutical companies aren't going to let that succeed.
The problem is they haven't figured out how to put push-ups in a pill.
Yeah.
That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah. I researched too where, so before Ronald Reagan era, doctors ran the pharmaceutical companies, and they did not want advertising on TV. Right. And then around the Ronald Reagan era, the lawyers and business people started taking over the pharmaceutical companies, and they lobbied for being able to advertise
Yep.
It was just interesting because now it's become just a common thing every night on TV, just all
Well,
pharmaceuticals. Yeah.
interestingly enough, the Sackler brothers, Mortimer, and I forget the other one, the ones who own Purdue Pharma, who are responsible for this OxyContin, that which is now turned into fentanyl squirt, just horrible addiction rates and overdoses. So the Sackler brothers, one of them, I think it was Mortimer, he made their money originally to buy Purdue Pharma in advertising for pharmaceuticals. And it was right about when they were allowed to start advertising on television.
Right.
And he made it, yeah. So, and we're the only nation on the planet that has pharmaceutical advertising on television. We're the only country.
I didn't realize that. They don't do that in Canada?
I don't know. I don't think so, Tom. I mean, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure about that. And I think we represent 5% of the world's population, and we consume 80% of the world's medication.
Wow.
So undereducated, over medicated.
No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
So we were going to have this wonderful gentleman on
Kelly Ricketts. Yes.
Kelly Ricketts. He just sent in a message here, so he's listening. We butchered a homegrown pig a couple of days ago. It was awesome compared to the crap you buy in the store. We raised our 9 kids on elk, moose.
That's my man.
So we're going to have Kelly, and we're still going to have him on at some point. But he lives up in the middle of, how'd you say, there's no men around and no sheep either?
No, everybody's on their own up there, and Kelly can take care of business for sure.
He's a Canadian, good boy out there living off the wild.
Yeah, I think if you look up in the dictionary, true Canadian frontiersman, musician, all around warrior, you're going to see Kelly's picture.
It's true. You think back, like even when I grew up on the farm, we didn't have processed foods. Like we would take a cow, we'd take it to the butcher, it was slaughtered, wrap it up in paper, put it in the freezer in the basement.
Yeah.
We grew our own vegetables, all that stuff. It was all, we didn't have processed foods.
Like I said, my mother's father lived to be 98, and he never ate anything he didn't kill or grow.
Very cool.
Never had a piece of processed food in his mouth his entire life.
Wow. Yeah. So Kelly, you're not in Canada. Oh, okay. I thought you were up in Canada. Oh. He's not in Canada. All right.
Oh, where are you? I thought you were in Canada. Or maybe he means not in Canada, something else. He's definitely in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he must be referring to something else.
Right.
About maybe the food, eating bad foods. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Isn't it true? Like, God, that should be well, I guess we kind of do already. That's gonna be our mission in life, to educate people about healthy foods, or what the bad foods are too, like those processed meats and everything. Oh,
so this brings me to something I wanted to speak to today. So HRT or TRT. So one stands for hormone replacement therapy. The other one's testosterone replacement therapy. And so now you'll see guys in a gym that are obviously trained up. They're big dudes, and they're maybe in their 40s or in their 50s. And, you kind of pull them aside and say, hey, what are you doing? Are you doing any kind of, and they'll say, well, no, I'm on HRT or I'm on TRT. Because what they'll tell you is that I had my blood work done. I'm only 48, but my test level was like 120.
Right.
So the doctor prescribed TRT to bring it in line again with
testosterone replacement therapy
to bring the test levels back to where they need to be. The question that's never asked, and this is something that I want to ask, and it's a rhetorical question, but what has happened? What has occurred in our nutrition, in our diet, in our lifestyle, that we see such a huge drop in testosterone levels in our country? Why is it that test levels 50 years ago were so much higher than they are now?
That's the question I was going to ask.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the question is, why are there so many young men and middle-aged men that need HRT or TRT? Well, it's just to what we talked to. Processed foods,
I see what you mean.
External environmental, we are surrounded by toxicity with cleaning fluids. And, if you looked under just about anyone's sink, beside the fact that if it ever went off, it'll blow your house up. But it's one big pool of toxic chemicals.
Yeah.
And there's also some thought that we have consumed throughout our life a lot of plastic, either through leaching into the food that we store in it, or they say that it gets micronized and you actually inhale it. So there's a lot of contributing factors to why the test levels are so low, but no one speaks to it.
Yeah.
And again, it gets back to, your test level's low here. Put you on TRT. Right. Instead of saying, again, lose weight, get in the gym, do things that are going to, if we can't get your level up naturally, then we'll revert to TRT.
Because
But not-
doesn't working out help pump up your TRT or your
Yes, and
testosterone?
you know what, and this is something else, Tom. Again, I'll confess, I just found this out over the weekend doing some research. Winning increases your test level.
Really?
Winning increases your test level. Well, think about how that works in terms of just nature and history. If you won in battle, you're jacked up. And
Yeah,
what woman
true.
didn't want to be with you coming the glorious warrior coming home, right?
Yeah, that's very
And-
true. Yeah.
Yeah. So conversely, losing lowers your testosterone level for a period of time. But the point is, if you're on a winning roll, man, you're gonna it's just gonna kind of self-fulfill itself and keep going. You start to lose and your test level drops, it makes it that much more difficult to come back and get back on the winning side of the ledger. Yeah.
Right. So just to clarify, Kelly was saying he's talking about no advertising for summer.
Right. Yeah. So I was right. It's
He
only
lives in-
United States. Thanks, Kelly.
And he lives in British Columbia. So yeah.
BC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I wonder how close he is to the other wild man. I know Dale Purinton up there in BC.
Is that where
'Cause
he
Dale-
is? Dale Purinton?
Yeah, he's somewhere. I mean, wherever he is, Tom, it's stunning. It's gorgeous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his woman posts pictures of those two hiking with the dogs. It's like incredible, man. Just
That is
absolutely
beautiful. That's
incredible.
beautiful country out there,
Yeah.
yeah. We used to have
Yeah.
training camp with the Kings a couple of years in Victoria, British Columbia. You had to take
Yes.
the
Yeah.
photo. That's beautiful country too. Yeah. How come women have bigger breasts?
It's
that
called
studied?
silicone. Yeah,
Has that been studied?
it's called silicone. Yeah.
You know, that's an interesting topic. I love talking about the foods and healthy foods and pharmaceuticals and all that kind of stuff. It's just, I think if people just understood what they were doing to their bodies by the foods they're putting into it, both good and bad, that we'd be so much better off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I saw a documentary, Tom, I bet you 30 some odd years ago. And it was on Chinese medicine. Probably still today, I would imagine. If you go to a Chinese hospital, the nurses are wheeling carts down the hallways with thermoses that have different types of medicinal herbs and mushrooms and roots and everything like that.
Right.
And each one is specific to a particular ailment. And they did brain surgery where the guy was still alive using some Western anesthesiology medicine, but only 50%. The other 50% was the Chinese herbal. Some of these things go back literally thousands of years.
Sure.
And yeah.
Yeah, very cool. All right, good show. Geez, we went fast there today. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we get a little bit jacked up here, man.
Yeah, you go on today. You had the blood pressure, your blood pump in there. Yeah, good. All right, brother. Good to see you again. We'll see everybody
Always.
again next week.